The Basement. Only on the DSN.
That's right, bitches. You are locked in the basement. That is Kriya Diaz and 10 Lives. Keith Hamilton on the basement. Of course, all day long. We've been talking on the air, DeLuca earlier in the morning, and me on Facebook all damn day long, that we have a very special guest in the studio today. You may know him as Gravy. What's up, man?
What do you say, brother?
Oh, not much. Now, I know your real name's Dave. Do you want to be called Dave? Or you want to be called Gravy?
Whatever you want.
All right.
I don't care.
All right, that's cool. All right, formerly of Mushroomhead and, of course, part of the DSN launch party this Friday night at the Carriage House in Louisville with his band, Kriya Diaz. And, dude, are you aware that when I tried to search you, Gravy, and formerly Mushroomhead and all that, that it actually brought up on Google mushroom gravy recipes?
Oh, awesome.
That's it. So maybe you might want to do some of the keyword searches, a little differently or something on that. So I know how to make a killer soup now. So
I have no idea.
We also have some of the members of Mind Pulp in here, Chad and Doug. I know these two fucking idiots. Let me get them on there. Hey, guys.
What's up?
What's
hey.
up?
Hi. Hello.
Just like in real life, folks. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll get to you in a minute, Doug, because this little asshole was talking some major shit this morning on the DeLuca show. So anyways, all right, Dave, I'm going to call you Dave. Fuck it. All right. 13 years in Mushroomhead, man. Say what you want, go into what you want. You don't have to get all super candid about it or anything, but what happened? Why the departure, man?
I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know it was coming. Just happened.
And you're cool with this?
I don't have any choice, really.
Well, I
majority rules, man.
I can relate to that. Kind of like what happened to me in radio with the company Clear Channels talking about earlier, man. One day I'm on and next day I'm off. I didn't have no choice in the matter. So
that's pretty much it.
Well,
got to roll with it the way you do.
But that's not going to stop you, obviously.
No, this is what I do. That band was just something I was part of for like 10, 12 years. So whatever, I made the best of it. I put 100% into it. And I guess I just wasn't good enough of a drinking buddy. So I had to go.
Well, so you basically had your shit together and everybody else didn't, well,
not that everybody else didn't, but I don't have any substance abuse problems. I don't have any gambling problems. All my gear works. I take pride in my playing. I don't really make very many mistakes live. I'm not a liability in any way. So for me to be kicked out of something like that after what I've contributed, I think is ridiculously unfair. And I still haven't got a straight answer why.
Well, the thing is now, man, you have definitely moved on, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot of that passion and that fire you have for your music coming up here on Friday night with Kriya Diaz,
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, I was kind of on a leash in that band anyway. I wrote for that band to make keyboards fit, to make two singers fit, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And with, being able to be myself in Kriya Diaz, it's, there's definitely a lot more fire and intensity.
Now, you weren't one of the original members, were you?
No,
but you came in and added a new element, obviously.
Well, what happened is Jeffrey Skinny and I were in a band before Mushroomhead, and they decided to go. They were inspired by bands like Mr. Bungle and Faith No More and stuff, and they wanted to go in that direction. We were doing Hatrix at the time. I don't know if anybody remembers that back in the day. I showed off on guitar a lot back then and stuff. And
why not, man?
I was working full time doing that band and my cover band. I didn't want to be in like a Mr. Bungle type novelty act. You know what I mean?
You wanted to take it a little more seriously then.
Well, I just figured if your band kicks ass, you don't need a gimmick. There's gimmick bands out there, but there's definitely a lot more bands that just are themselves on stage and they kick ass.
Well, there's musical gimmicks, and then there's, music gimmicks, and I like one of my favorite old all-time bands, Kiss. Obviously, they had a gimmick, but it worked out pretty good for them. So,
well, they write some pretty damn good songs. There's, vocal harmonization, there's guitar harmonization, there's good arrangements to the tunes and everything. So,
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's jump off that, man, and get into Crea Diaz, man. How did that beast come to be? And future plans, et cetera, et cetera. What's up, man?
Well, it was just it kind of came out of frustration with not following up with the 216 record. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that band, but we put a CD out in back in '98, and the band did incredibly well, incredibly quick. Within like a year or two, we were drawing 600-700 people a show, and I think we probably sold about 10,000 CDs.
Was this something you were dabbling in while in Mushroomhead?
Well, yeah, it was kind of. I think we were doing it before I was in Mushroomhead, but all the other three guys besides myself were in Mushroomhead at the time, and then I ended up getting into Mushroomhead like around 2000, something like that. So, but the 216 thing was, like I said, it was extremely successful, very quick, and I understand when when Mushroomhead got signed and you have a deadline to make a record and there's tours and stuff like that. Yeah, things get put on the back burner, but 5 years goes by, 7 years goes by, 10 years goes by. Other side projects are being made, and 216 is still on the back burner after 10 years. That's what I mean. I gave it 10 years, and I argued the point a few times with some people about it, and it just seemed like nobody really cared much. So I said, screw this. I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Since I've been in Mushroomhead, I wrote the majority of the riffs and stuff, music wise. I'm not like a lyric guy or anything like that.
Right.
I suck at writing lyrics. I mean, listen to me talk. I'm half retarded, but but musically, you know what I mean? I write and arrange and produce my own stuff, and I think I do a halfway decent job, considering what I have to work with.
And especially with what I just heard, and I heard some of the other tracks earlier today, before I went on the air, and it definitely sounds like it's coming through, and you got your shit together, and the music sounds like this is a place you want to be, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I definitely get to stretch my legs and do what I want. I don't have to limit myself in any way. I don't have to take any of the other players in Crea Diaz abilities into consideration. I can go wherever I want with whatever. Man.
I am so looking forward to this on Friday night. Of course, talking to Dave Felton, Gravy, formerly of Mushroomhead, now with the band Crea Diaz, and he's going to be part of the big DSN launch party / DeLuca birthday bash celebration this Friday at the Carriage House in Louisville. It starts at 7:00. Only $5 to get in. If you can't scrape up $5, man, you're a sorry ass bitch. So that's about how it is right there. Now, all right, I'm moving further on here with Dave, man. As I'm searching you on the internet and looking up various things, I see some YouTube videos, and I saw this great video where you're doing all kinds of crazy shit. You're shooting guns and doing this, that, and the other. So, basically, you can even give me the Reader's Digest version if you want, brother. I don't care. You don't have to go way off here or anything. But what is just the craziest, most fucked up moment you ever had on the road, man? I mean, something that just you will be 95 and you'll never forget it.
I don't know. There's been a lot of funny moments. Most of this stuff was just, filming things for like the home video releases and stuff, and just creating scenarios and stuff. There's a lot of crazy stuff, but I think the one that will like continue to stick out was the keyboard player from Mushroomhead getting obliterated and waking up at 7 a.m. I just happened to be there with the video camera. Well, it was our first tour. We opened for Wasp. We had to drive a van as well as the bus. So some of the gear was in the van, and I ended up driving the van that night. I had a real bad cold and couldn't sleep, so I volunteered to drive the van. We got to the venue at like 7 a.m. I was monkeying around with my camera before I was planning on going to bed. The keyboard dude started waking up, and he thought he was going in the bathroom, and he just opened the door to the hallway of the bus, thought he was in the bathroom, and just stood there and pissed on the door to the hallway of the bus. And I'm talking to him while I'm filming him, and he's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. I'm not in the bathroom, man.
Fuck it.
And so, I mean, that you know, it's on the volume 1 DVD. So
that's awesome. Well, it is good that you do get some good stuff from that. But what I also wanted to ask you is, who made an impact on Baby Gravy? To make you who you are musically today, man. What was the clay, so to speak, that formed?
It's, I don't know, just a lot of stuff. When I was like a real little kid, my dad, my mom, aunts and uncles, everybody listened to a lot of the music that was kind of a big deal, like in the, late 60s and 70s and stuff like that. So I always grew up listening to Moody Blues and Cat Stevens.
Yeah, good stuff there, good stuff.
Stuff like that. But, Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all that kind of stuff. But I remember being like 7, 8 years old and hearing the radio driving around and really digging like T-Rex, Mott the Hoople, Sweet.
Oh, Fox on
Queen.
the Run and things like that. Yeah.
There was just something about those bands that I just dug when I was a real little kid, and I still like them. But of course that went on to like Zeppelin, Sabbath, and then Ozzy with Randy Rhoads was.
Judas
I kind of
Priest,
started
Iron
out
Maiden,
playing, wanting to play drums. I played drums in school band.
Drummer right here, man.
Right
so
on.
but
But the guitar thing, loved Ace Frehley, and but the thing that really took me over the edge as far as like what made me decide I wanted to be a guitar player was the Crazy Train riff.
It's a badass riff.
Yeah,
man.
and I remember being like 14 years old going, I got to play that riff, man, if it's the last thing I ever do in my life. And it's just, since then it's gone on, and and then I get inspired by like Yngwie Malmsteen and dudes like that.
Well, every time a conversation comes up where people start talking about guitar players, I hate the Eddie Van Halen people. I really do, man. It's just like, okay, yes, he was an innovator. He did some shit. He did the double tap and all that. But, for my money, man, and just the emotion and passion he had in his playing, Randy Rhoads will always be my favorite rock guitarist of all time. And even more so than Tony Iommi or Jimmy Page or David Gilmour,
right,
or, Richie Blackmore, any of the guys that I truly, truly love. But I still think Randy Rhoads was absolutely the shit.
Well, that was the guy that really, pushed me in that direction. I mean, I liked a lot of guitar playing and stuff like that, but he was definitely the guy. Van Halen, I love too, though, because Van Halen was more like that loose rock guy. There's a lot of fire there. You know what I mean? It's like Van Halen was just like he saw the pool three houses down and just didn't care if there was water in it or not. He was jumping in.
Yeah, they were kind of glam in their own way, but because definitely all the LA rock scene pretty much took off right after Van Halen.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
that early 80s things were still pretty cool. There was still like that 70s attitude thing kind of going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that, right around like 84, 85 is when the pink spandex and the hairspray just got a little too out of control, Well,
almost like, the band, I think they influenced a lot of that early 70s rock band, Angel. You remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the wicked costumes and the makeup and things like that.
That was a different kind of glam thing.
Oh, like a Bowie-esque kind of.
Right.
Yeah, Alice Cooper kind of a deal
Sweet
going
was
on.
like that, and the T-Rex, I don't know, man. I still just like dig that era. That mid to late 70s era, I just think is really cool.
Actually, as much as I love to rock out and everything with the new stuff and everything, my personal favorite brand of music comes from the 70s. I just think they did it. They were pioneers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they took all that flower power, field of love kind of bullshit. And then, could you imagine being there somewhere, you're a teenager in 1969 or 1970 when all you heard was, hey, we're the Monkees. And next thing you hear, oh God, and Iron, there comes Ozzy and Black Sabbath. I mean,
right.
I can imagine being a kid back then. I just would have had to shit my pants, man.
That's what I mean, dude. It was just, there was like, it was coming out of that whole 60s thing. So everybody had just, I think like a very positive sort of just neutral mindset. Like there was like direction without having like a direction. I don't know if that makes any sense, but everyone was just kind of doing what they wanted. And I don't know. I just think the music was really cool. Not that I don't like a lot of stuff from the 60s, but yeah, for me, it's I
like,
like
it's
stuff
like
from every era except for like, even like some disco songs I think are great, even though disco got like a really bad rap. The huge percentage of it really sucks. But I'll almost take some of that over like the really bad 80s glam shit and the grunge.
That British new wave in the 80s and crap like that Kaja Goo Goo and bands like that, and Duran Duran, Flock of Seagulls. Yeah, fuck that.
I mean, there's always like some songs. I'm like just a fan of good songs. It doesn't matter what genre it is. If I'm moved by it, I like it. But I don't know, when there's like a whole movement of craziness like that going on.
But what was great about that time is while everybody was getting like, just brainwashed with all this British new wave stuff. I mean, you had another British new wave that was coming in, and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest were leading the way, and I mean they were bringing it, and they were keeping the flag flying, so to speak, man.
Right.
So
it's weird how all that stuff was like, it was like an underground thing and not really taken seriously, but it's still around and it's bigger than, just as big as it ever was.
It's still relevant.
And all the trendy stuff that got all that hype and everything is just gone.
It's dead.
Yeah. It's gone.
And even looking into the early 80s, when Metallica was doing Kill 'Em All, man, I remember being, hearing, stuff like Phantom Lord and Hit the Lights and Am I Evil when I was in high school. And I immediately gravitated to Metallica, and all my friends, they couldn't understand me. I was like this outcast,
Yeah.
Oh, what do you listen to all that kill your mother, kill your father shit for,
I remember that.
You fucking freak, and, treat me almost like I was a Manson kid,
I remember back then, like Lemmy's voice was the worst thing that anyone's ever heard back then. And nowadays it's like with some of these death metal guys, it just sounds like a drain unclogging, or, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So yeah, man, some great memories there. First off, we are on the air here with Dave Felton Gravy, formerly of Mushroomhead, but he's now in the band Crea Diaz, which leads me to my next question here. That is kind of a odd, unique name, man. How in the fuck did Crea Diaz? All of a sudden you're sitting around, you're doing whatever, chilling, playing guitar. Hey, Crea Diaz, that's it.
Yeah, there's a story behind that. I released my demo, which I did at like a studio, just kind of did it to reinforce my sanity, because I'd heard for so long, working at the Shroom studio and another studio we were affiliated with. I mean, not that great things don't happen there, but I just had some disagreeable things about the way I wanted to try doing stuff.
Right.
Went to this other studio, got pretty much what I wanted right off the bat, and just would go every month, every other month or whatever, and just lay some ideas down. And anyway, I ended up like releasing that as a demo, just to see if anybody would like latch onto it. Well, a buddy of mine that I hadn't talked to in years, his band was playing out, offered me a show, and I didn't have a band, because I did pretty much most of the stuff on the demo myself, except for like vocals and bass on a couple of songs. So,
Right.
So I was like, yeah, so everybody in Crea Diaz I've been friends with for years. The drummer's been in, me and him have been in the cover band together for like 17 years.
What kind of covers did you do?
Metal.
Oh, okay, cool.
Some like, we do like Tool, Perfect Circle, but we do Slayer, Pantera. We do old Metallica medley, old Black Sabbath medley, Dio, Maiden, Sabbath, Priest.
Oh, I wish I could have seen one of those shows, man.
We still do it. Still do that band.
So this Friday night, man, we can expect to hear a little taste of that.
Well, no, because only the drummer is in that band with me.
Okay. I misunderstood.
But I could. Yeah, like Crea Diaz isn't the cover band. Just me and the drummer are still in the cover band. If you guys ever want to come to, Cleveland area, I'll let you know. Because those shows are a blast too. If you want to hear like the old metal done like a little more solid and heavy than you're used to hearing it, that's the band to go see. But anyway, back to the Crea Diaz thing. The buddy offered me a show. I didn't have a band, so I called in favors to some of my buddies. And the show was in January. This was in November. And basically what I did was we finished up all the tunes on the demo. And then I pulled out like just some old material from like the Hatrix days before Mushroomhead. And I think we did like one Mushroomhead song that really doesn't sound like Mushroomhead at all. It's more like a, Sabbathy stoner rock type of tune.
Right.
Just for material, just so I could play a show. So all we did, we just get together and rehearse. The holidays, were coming up and everything, so it was hard. So we just rehearsed as much as we could. We never even gave a band name any thought. And it was like a few weeks before the show that my buddy wanted to put some flyers together, and we didn't have a name. He called me up asking for a band name, and we didn't have anything. So we're on the phone scrambling, and nobody had anything good at all. It was all like cliche, stupid metal, like Gleaming Guillotine or shit like that. It's like, come on, dude.
Death Punch.
So yeah, there you go. But we're going back and forth on the phone, and then finally we kind of hung up, and we're giving it some thought, writing shit down, and I'm watching TV, and Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern was on.
Okay,
and he's shopping in a market like in South America or some shit for criadillas.
Which is what?
It's bull's balls.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Classic.
So when they cut the nuts off a bull and they serve it up as food, it's called criadillas.
No shit.
But we just spelled it different, so it looks more metal when you see it, because it's spelled like quesadillas. When you order quesadillas up, fucking Applebee's or some shit. Casadillaz or AS or whatever it is. It was spelled the same way. Criadillas.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, that just looks too much like something you order off a menu. So I just changed it.
All right.
We just changed the spelling.
Bull's balls will be the chant this Friday night.
Well, it's like, it doesn't, I mean, when it's served up as food, it's called criadillas.
Nice. That's a fucking great story, man.
I just thought I was like, okay, bull's balls are pretty big fucking balls, man. You gotta have something, I think I got some big balls, man. That's fucking cool. It sounds exotic. You know what I mean?
It's definitely different. There's
Nobody
no doubt
on the
about
fucking
that.
planet's going to want that band name. I might as well take that, It's a band name. Who gives a shit? If corn can work,
Oh, Saliva.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Who would have fucking thought back in the day you could name your band Saliva and get away with it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking Saliva.
Exactly.
Well, but that is so fucking cool. That is so metal. That is metal all the way, man.
We were under the gun. We had to have something.